Just when you thought Aquafina was the single worst thing to come out of Asia since Covid and child sweatshops, here comes Shang-Chi himself to single-handedly outdo his Insufferable co-star in every way imaginable. Appearing on what seems to be the Canadian equivalent of the UK's Dragon's Den, a show where established entrepreneurs decide whether to invest in startups, and which usually just devolves into being an excuse to humiliate naive and desperate business owners on national TV.
You did all these tests in this water to show your water is the best.
Yes.
Then I tested your water.
Yes.
And it's rubbish. We all tested it, we all said the same thing.
Marvel actor Simu Liu decided to do just that to a pair of dopey Caucasians, also on national TV. Studying a proposal for a new bubble tea product called Boba, Shang Soy proceeds to throw a super cringe tantrum over there being no reference to the cultural origins of the beverage or the can's packaging.
I am studying your can, and I am looking for anything that tells me where boba came from. And where boba came from is Taiwan. You know, I started this venture company for a lot of reasons, but really primarily to uplift minority entrepreneurs. And not only do I feel like this is not happening here, but that I would be uplifting a business that is profiting off of something that feels so dear to my cultural heritage. I want to be a part of bringing boba to the masses, but not like this. So for that reason, I'm out.
This is a problem apparently, because the fella says that he only wants to uplift minority entrepreneurs. And he essentially can't invest in this one because the owners are not of the correct ethnicity to, checks notes, sell bubble tea.
I want to be a part of bringing boba to the masses, but not like this. So for that reason, I'm out.
So is this really the standard we're being set to live by now going forward? That you can only sell products in the marketplace that your own people have invented and that aligns to your personal ethnic heritage? Well, I don't see anything going wrong with that and would only certainly be a good thing for free market capitalism. No! I mean, I'm half Maltese, so what could I possibly sell? An autistic headband and a pack of cheesy twisties? And what if one is an adopted orphan who's never known where he came from? Would he not be allowed to sell anything in case it contradicts whatever ethnicity he may or may not be? Gah, these people are such small-brained, achievement-curbing cultural vandals. Because this type of thinking will only ever limit the scope of human progress rather than improve it. They seem to want to constrain Western success via arbitrary rules, levied by self-imposed cultural czars and gatekeepers whose insatiable need to virtue signal will only ever be performative to slake their own ego and narcissism. And hilariously, even his own wokey teammate reckons he's gone a bit too far, and probably calls him out for being too much of a pussy-o on Canadian TV, and thereby undermining Trudeau's claim of being the wettest lettuce in the country.
Gay!
Thanks.
Respect that.
Respect that.
It makes me sad how successful this business is. It makes me sad that people are, you know,
Why?
they're drinking boba with the raccoon with the sun.
It doesn't mean that they don't have the opportunity to change and do that.
That's true, but there has to be a willingness, and I have to be able to invest in these founders knowing that,
Right,
that
but they
change is
didn't.
possible.
They didn't say no. The collaboration that they've had to this point is with their supplier in Taiwan, and if nobody else has told them that before, you can't put that all on them.
As a full-on libtard leftist with zero testosterone in his entire body, it's not surprising he openly admits to being threatened by the concept of a successful business. I mean, after all, he's a known socialist sympathiser who once even refused to sign Shang-Chi comics that featured Fu Manchu because my racialisms, bruh. And is such an embarrassment he even got roasted by China, who felt he was too physically ugly to play a superhero, and also for choosing Canada over his homeland whilst calling China a third world country where people starve. Wait a minute, I thought this fellow was saying he was from Taiwan a minute ago, hence why he was crying into his noodles about the insult to boba. And besides, this fucker doesn't even have a leg to stand on, given Chinese/Taiwanese bro got his big break playing a Korean Canadian in a show called Kim's Convenience and now has the nerve to cry about appropriation. Lol, whatevs. Hollywood hypocrites are gonna hypocrite, I guess. I just think it's even more depressing that the budding entrepreneurs didn't even push back on any of this nonsense, and instead just politely nodded along to the clear implication of them being passively aggressively racist to an entire culture by, checks notes again, appreciating their liquid beverages and wanted to bring their oriental sugary tea to the Western masses.
Okay.
And of course, they then went on to Chinese-owned TikTok to make a grovelling apology in the way only Canadians can, by saying, "We take full responsibility for the impact of our actions. Simu Liu raised very valid points, and we welcome the learning opportunity. Lol. Opportunity to learn what? That you've discovered you're a secret racialist after a ring-obsessed Soyboy says so? That you now can't flog a can of tea because it hurts Shang-Chi's fifis? Jesus, grow a fucking spine, people. Personally, I like to think Marvel actors should live up to the attributes of the heroic characters they play. And here, one would hope that means displaying a bit of tact, understanding and reasonableness. But IRL, turns out this fella's so strong and super that he's triggered by Canadian drinks and a raccoon with sunglasses.